Yo, hello everybody, welcome back, it's Switch here, and I was going to basically swap into the Marvel Snap, so there's not going to be any more like Diablo content here. Oh well, the channel was dead for a while anyway, but right now I have like uh, lots of energy to do the Marvel Snap just simply because I super liked the content. So in this video, I'm just gonna go through and walk through and just talk through the Season Pass, Recruit Season Starter, Series 0 and Series 1, all cards, so the video might be quite long, just simply because that's going to be the main video for the playlist, which is going to be Series 1 decks only, starter decks. So I'm obviously the person who just started recently with the premiere of the PC, which was around 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, which the premiere of the PC version came out. I just started to play. I didn't play at all before on the mobile because I just simply I don't like to play games on the mobile phone. So, but because my background is Magic the Gathering, Hearthstone, and other card games, I just figured I'm just gonna try on the PC. And guess what? I super like it. I super enjoying it myself, and I'm just gonna carry on with it for the rest of my life. I reckon because just simply playing Diablo 4, I wasn't happy at all because there was nothing over there. Blizzard unfortunately don't know how to do the new games anymore, how to do any games anymore. So I'm just gonna swap to something which I believe might be something for another couple of years, or maybe like I said for the rest of the life. Because the thing is, in this game we have consistent updates every month, new cards, and basically it's just up to us how long we want to play. And if you're enjoying the game, I guess we can play all the time, right? Okay, doc. So without no further ado, we're just gonna jump into the season pass and just gonna click the cards. Obviously, we on the snap.fun page, which you can manually update your collection, which is super great. I'm just gonna talk a little bit about the cards, or maybe I don't know, whatever. I'm just gonna talk about the cards. So one more time, the main idea of creating this video is just basically as a future reference for creating the season series, the series 1 decks only, which is the level 18, let's say series 0, series 1. So from the level 1 to level 214, which is roughly about 20 hours of playing the game. But like I said, some person in the future might just coming up on the channel and they will have like a proper playlist. So the first playlist of the channel is going to be just Series 1 decks only. I will just create as many decks as possible, and then we're just gonna move forward to Series 1 and Series 2 combine, which I almost unlocked the Series 2 as well. So yeah, right now without no further ado, just gonna jump to talking about the all collection till level 214, and then in the next video is going to be Series 2, or maybe when I'm going to unlock something like that. So the Daken itself, basically we play Daken for 3 mana. As you can see, there's 4 points of the value power, and then we're getting the Muramasa shard, which basically what it does is when we destroy that shard, the Daken is going to have the double the power, double the points, so it's going to be 8 power. Or in some cases, if you will copy that shard and destroy 2 shards, the Daken is going to be obviously 16 16 power, right? Going to be 8, and then double from the 8 is going to be 16. Recruit season. So we have the Ant-Man, which is basically +3 power if we have 3 other cards on this position, this location. We have the Blue Marvel, which is super great, amazing card, especially for the aggro decks, and it's going to be soon the aggro deck on the channel, so stay tuned for that if you want to see some nice aggro deck just for the Series 1 decks. So because obviously the power value of the Blue Marvel is not really good, but as long as we're playing aggro and we're just able to play all our cards from the hand on the table, we fine. So we're just spending 5 mana to basically boost the whole table, which is amazing, powerful card. We have the Colossus, which is for 2 mana, 3 power. And on the first glance, it's like not really anything amazing, but the thing is they can be destroyed, moved, or have its power reduced. In other words, some position basically destroying the cards, and we can just simply win the position, the location, and just playing 1 card. 1 card and 1 card only, which is like super cheap and super efficient in some scenarios. Then another card is the Gamora, which is for 5 mana, 7 points of power. It's a good, don't get me wrong. It's amazing card, +5 if the opponents play a card here on this turn, but it's situational because sometimes it's not going to happen, and basically, yeah, pretty much that's it. So probably a good card to finish off some location when we're actually fighting for the powers against the opponents. So definitely good card on the beginning, but probably later on throughout unlocking the Series 2 all cards, and maybe when we access the Series 3 on the beginning on the Series 3, we probably don't want to play this anymore, but we'll see how it goes. Then we have the Iron Heart, which is an amazing card because on the reveal give +2 power to 3 other friendly cards, but the trick about this card is our deck supposed to be like super massive in 1 mana drop, just simply because in some cases, especially when we're playing the Odin deck, which is the Iron Heart, Gamora, and the future cards, which I will explain you in a minute. The thing is, if you will have a lot of 2 mana drops, the Iron Heart, we just want to get as much value as possible from this card. So when we're playing this on the turn 3, it's supposed to have, well, in the perfect world, already 3 cards on the table, which means we're supposed to have so many 1 mana drops, so we can play 1 mana drop on the first turn and then 2 mana drops on the second turn. In other words, to be able to have the full advantage from this card. Yeah. So pretty much, which is super hard and tricky if you don't have enough 1 mana drops. That's what I'm trying to say. Then we have the starter. So the starter cards, we're having the Abomination for 5 mana, 9 power, 9 energy, which is great, but it's nothing more than that. Then we have the Cyclope for 3 mana, 4 energy, nothing more than that. Then we have the Hawkeye, which is for 1 mana, basically 4 of the power, because usually what's going to happen is we're just going to play another card from the hand, and then we are going to have another extra 3 points of top of that. So yeah, Hawkeye is definitely a good choice to play. Just keep that in mind. We actually need to play the card on the next turn, and you have to also understand the opponent might take the advantage of that because he will basically pretty much see we want to play the cards. Sometimes we just can do some shenanigans, like we're just going to play this, but then we're not going to play anything afterwards. So yeah, it's a good choice. The Hulk is obviously amazing as a end game finisher, 6 mana, 12 points of stat. Iron Man is amazing because it's doubling your power, so you not necessarily need to play Iron Man as a finisher on the turn 6. You can play on the turn 5, even on the empty place, on the empty position location, and then you might consider to not playing anything afterwards. So simply saying you not really want to fight for this position, this location, you just want to do some mind games with the opponent, and you might consider to play Hulk with 24 points of stats, or you might consider to not playing anything at all and just focus on the 2 other locations to win the game afterwards. Anyway, so Medusa, really super great card. I really like this card, really one of my favorite cards, especially on the beginning. 2 mana, 5 points of stat literally, but you need to play this on the middle location. Then we have the Misty Knight, which is like basically just 1 mana drop, one energy drop, 2 points of stats, and nothing more than that. Then we have the Punisher, which is a great card, but it's only great if you're playing against the full location, because he's going to have +1 power for each opposing cards at this location. So basically what that means is to get the 6 points of value from this card, you need to play that on the position where you have 4 cards of the opponent cards already. Quicksilver, super amazing card, especially for the aggro deck, just simply to have that card on, to be sure you have 1 mana. I'm saying mana, I'm so much get used to the mana, but you know what I mean, 1 energy. So just to make sure you have 1 energy drop on the first turn. It's really crucial for some decks. Other than that, just 1 energy to power stat. So we have the Sentinel, which is super great value, because when we're playing the Sentinel, we're adding another Sentinel to our hand. So for 2 mana free energy, and we can just play this constantly and just as much as possible. Then we have the Shocker, which is no super value, 2 energy free stats, but all those cards without any like extra abilities, well, without any abilities at all, like the thing, 4 energy, 6 power, all those cards the Hulk and the Cyclope and the Abomination, they're combined with the Series 3 card, and it's going to be somewhere here, and it's the Patriot, which I do not have it yet, and probably you guys, if you just start playing recently, you don't have this one. For sure, I was a bundle, I don't know, a couple of days ago, but I didn't buy it, and I regret right now, because I'm supposed to buy this one. So the Patriot, basically, your cards with no abilities have +2 power, so this is like, oh my god, this is like super amazing to play this on the turn 6. So definitely next time, probably it's not going to be, but next time when you see the bundle with the Patriot, you just don't hesitate and buy it. I don't know why I didn't buy it, but okay. Anyway, so for the starter, the last but not least, it's the Star-Lord. It's not super amazing card. On the beginning, it's going to be alright, and then later on, you're just going to figure it out. It's fucking crap because it's a situational card. So you're most likely not going to get the value of 3+ power. So yeah, the Star-Lord, it's not really a great card. Nevertheless, we're just gonna jump to the Series 0, which is the level 1 and 14, which, like I mentioned already, or if I didn't mention already, basically the Series 1 collection, you don't need to spend any money to acquire in about 20 hours of the gameplay. So pretty much you probably already have every card here. I'm just gonna crack on with it. The Jessica Jones, super amazing card. I'm playing all the time. I'm trying to fit this card in as many decks as possible in the Series 1, just simply because this is 4 energy, 8 power of stats value. If you don't play a card here next turn, +4 power, and also good for the mind games, because you might just not trying to win this position, you might just try to convince the opponent to put as many cards on that position. So in other words, you're just playing this on the turn 4 and you don't really care, you're just gonna carry on with that position later on in the future or not. Khazar, oh my god, this is like super crazy good, especially for the aggro decks. I recently done the aggro deck with the blue Marvel and the Khazar. It's amazing. I just win 13-3 recently with basically the bunch of the 1 mana drops, 1 energy drop. So the rest was the 1 energy drop. I played Khazar, blue Marvel, and I think in this deck I also used the Ironheart, because it's just buffing the 1 mana drops as well. But other than that, just 1 mana drops. Basically, what it do is ongoing effect. Your 1 cost card have +1 power, so it's like kind of self-explanatory. It's basically boosting all your deck. If your deck is obviously 1 cost cards only, or pretty much everything. Then we have the Mr. Fantastic, which is great card because it's obviously the energy value for the mana value. So we're just spending 3 energy or 3 mana. Just is going to say mana, whatever, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So 3 mana, 3 energy to 6 power, and this power is split accordingly to left and right. Adjacent location have +2 power, which is like super powerful card. Just simply because some location we are not able to play any cards at all, and you can just win that location by simply playing the Mr. Fantastic. So Mr. Fantastic is really great. The Nightcrawler is super great card because we can move this card once, but it's basically enough in some scenarios to win consistently some position. And other than that, we obviously can buff this card, so it's going to be even better though. Then we have the Odin, which is for 6 mana, 6 energy, 8 power, and then we have the activate the on reveal abilities of your other cards in that location. So it's super great, super powerful, and it's going to be tomorrow, I believe so, the deck play actually the Odin. So I'm not going to dwell much about this because tomorrow is going to be deck about this card itself. We have the Spectrum, so there's the opposite. The Spectrum is giving your ongoing cards +2, so the Odin is giving the reveal ability is going to be reveal 1 more time, and the Spectrum is giving the ongoing cards going to have +2 power. So basically you're just creating the deck with only ongoing cards, such as the Khazar, let's say. This is just an example because usually you don't want to really put the Khazar, because then when you have the Khazar, you need to have lots of 1 cost cards plus power. I mean, lots of 1 cost cards to get the boost, the benefit of that +1 power. So unless the rest of 1 mana drops is going to be on the reveal, so that's something along those lines. Anyway, White Tiger is amazing card with the deck, with the Odin deck, so it's going to be tomorrow. Basically, you're just playing the Tiger on some location, and pretty much you want to play also the Ironheart on the same location. So you will trigger this effect one more time when you play the Odin in that position. So obviously you don't really try to win that location, or you're just trying to win the other two locations. So what I do is add the 7 power tiger to another location, so obviously not to the location you played already in the first place, the white tiger. And then you're just going to add another white tiger, which is the 7 power of stats tiger, through playing the Odin on the location you don't want to win, but you never know, you might win that location. And then you're obviously going to trigger twice the Iron Heart, which is another 12 points of stats, so it's like super amazing. Obviously, you want to play this deck as a person who just started playing recently. Wolfsbane, great cards. Obviously, you need to play some deck to fill out the board to some extent. So one location, obviously, +2 power for each other card you have here. So pretty much you need to have 3 cards over there. Then you play the Wolfsbane, which is going to be 7 power for 3 mana, which is a great card, obviously. Great super card. Then we're having these Series 1 cards. Did I said everything? Did I talk through everything? Yeah. So we have Series 1 cards. So pretty much, like I said, everybody who started already and played about 20 hours is supposed to unlock everything. Like I said, one more time, the reason for making me this is just, I believe if I will do this properly, the playlist is going to be much better for somebody who will came to this channel in the future. So let's say 1 year from now, because obviously I'm new into doing this, creating this, it's going to be like a super nice guide, because then you can just see straight away, okay, I have these cards, I can create this deck. So my focus and my goal for this month is going to be create the decks only from the Series 1, or maybe just as much as possible the decks from Series 1. We'll see about it. Anyway, just gotta start from the America Chavez, which is, as you can see, this card is going to be always draw on the turn 6, and it's amazing because we always sure we are going to top deck the card on the 6th turn with 9 power of stat. So definitely it's going to be seen in some decks. Other than that, it's not really much to talk to, because if you're playing the Hulk, you will have constant consistency of playing the card for 12 power with 6 energy. Obviously, you might not draw sometimes the Hulk, and it's going to be on the bottom on your deck, but definitely good card. I didn't really create any deck around this card yet, but I reckon it might be good with the Patriot deck. So we have the Angel itself. Well, it's obviously for the aggro decks, but more likely for the decks which can eat something to be boosted. So let's say we're playing the Carnage for 2 mana, 2 energy, and then the Carnage will destroy your another cards here, +2 power for each destroyed. So if we're destroying 3 cards, we have +6 power, which is 8 power for 2 energy, and then the Angel going to pop out from our deck, obviously if it's in the deck, because if it's on the hand, when one of your cards is destroyed, this flies out of your deck to replace it. So in other words, it's sometimes good and sometimes crap, because you don't really want to play this from the hand. But yeah, what can I say? It's just extra points of stat if we are able to activate this before we're going to draw this. So it's basically for free energy, some value. And other than that, if we're having this on the hand straight away, or in some other turn, 2, 3, or whatever, so we probably just want to play this and just don't care and still activate Carnage or whatever you want to activate on it, because at the end of the day, if we're playing something like deck to boost it out throughout destroying our cards, this is like kind of useless, right? Okay, so we have the Angela, so basically she's going to have +2 after we played card here, so pretty much, yeah, 6 power if we're going to play 3 cards. Then we have the Apocalypse, which is a great card, don't get me wrong, it's amazing, especially if we are able to discard this twice. So for the first time, you want to discard this, obviously, throughout the Lady Thief. So basically what Apocalypse do is the Apocalypse will get +4 power whenever you discard this card from your hand. So when you're playing the Lady Thief on the reveal, discard the highest cost card from your hand. So the only highest card is going to be Apocalypse in our deck. So in other words, we always going to discard the Apocalypse, but then we wish to, or we'd like to at least discard this one more time, because there is no really sense to play just Apocalypse and Lady Deceive. And with that being said, I actually play like that, and there's nothing wrong with that, but I'm just saying the thing is you just wish to get more energy, because then you can just play Hulk for 6 mana and the Hulk is going to be 12 stat. So the other way, on the Series 1 cards, to discard this card, we having the Swordmaster, and we having somewhere supposed to be a blade here. So basically the blade is discarding a card from your hand. So we are trying to do this on the turn 5, and the same with the Swordmaster on the turn 5, because the thing is we are going to discard the card at random, so we just want to do this when we don't really have any other cards than the Apocalypse, and then we're just playing the blade, so it's no random anymore. We're just going to obviously discard the Apocalypse. We're just going to play the Swordmaster with just keeping the Apocalypse. So in the perfect world, there's supposed to be some aggro deck to try out to play as many cards from the hand, and then with just keeping the Apocalypse on the hand, we're just trying to play the Blade or either the Swordmaster to trigger this one more time, which is great. Obviously, if you're having the Blade and the Swordmaster and the Apocalypse on the hand, I guess you just don't care and just gonna play, despite the fact you might just discard Blade throughout the Swordmaster or vis-a-vis. So, but you know exactly what I'm talking about. Then we have the armor for 2 energy, 3 stats. Basically, the cards on this location can be destroyed, so it's kind of self-explanatory. Bishop, which I never played, and I don't think so I'm going to play, because it's for 3 energy, 1 stat, and basically he's going to have 1 power when we're going to play the cards. So yeah, for aggro decks, but still, it's kind of like 3 energy. I don't think so. Then we have the Cable, which is great, 2 energy, 2 stats, and basically we're drawing the top card from your opponent deck, so you have some extra card to play with. And also the main reason to play this is not really to getting that card to play from the opponent deck, it's more like to do the disruption. Another card, super great card, Captain America ongoing effect. Your other cards at this location have +1 power, so definitely great addition to the aggro decks. Then we have the Cosmo, which is a great card, but it's like super tech choice, situational. It's ongoing. On reveal, abilities won't happen on this location. So basically, it's like super counter for the like Devil Dinosaur, because it's not going to have that ongoing effect. So somebody going to play this for 5 mana, it's just going to end up with a free energy, which is like super great for you, not great for the opponent, right? Other than that, if you're obviously not going to counter the Devil Dinosaur, it's basically +2 power for each card in your hand. So that's going to be super crazy good if you are able to play this when you're having the 7 cards on your hand, because 7 cards is the maximum draw, and basically to be sure you have 7 cards, you're just going to play the Moon Girl before. So that's basically the setup. So playing the Moon Girl, then you can duplicate your hand. You're duplicating your hand, and then turn 5 you can playing Devil Dinosaur, and it's going to end up with the 15 points of stats of the power, which is like super crazy good. Obviously, the Moon Girl is you can play across different decks just to basically copy aggro, whatever you want to copy. So it's super exciting and great deck. Then we are having Nova, which is going to give you +1 power for every card of on the table already when you destroy it, and you can destroy it simply by playing the Deadlock, because Deadlock is destroying every card at this location, or you can just simply play destroy through the Carnage. Then we're having the Lizard for 2 energy drop, and it's 5 power. It's -4 power if your opponent has 4 cards here, but you can simply play the Enchantress over there, and then you play Enchantress over there. The Enchantress is basically going to remove the all abilities from all ongoing cards on this location. So pretty much that means that Lizard is going to have 5 stats all the time. Then we have the Forge over there, which is for 2 energy, 1 power. And you might think, oh my god, it's like so low, but the on reveal give the next card your play +3 power, basically making the Mr. Sinister 2 mana drops with 10 value of stats, which is like, oh my god, right? I'm just going to play the Forge, and I'm just going to play the Mr. Sinister. The Mr. Sinister basically adding the Sinister clone to this location with the same power. So it's going to be 5 and another 5, which is altogether 10 power. Then we're having the Domino, which is 2 energy for 3 stats, and might seems like it's not really anything exciting, but it's actually super good card to the decks which you playing only 2 energy drop. In some cases you just don't really want to play 2 energy drops, and you just fill in the deck, and obviously you want to make sure you have the card to play on the turn 2. So you're just playing this basically, and then you sure always on turn 2 is going to be draw, not before, which is great because you don't have that on the opening hand. You're just getting another card all the time you actually need to play. Electra, which is like, oh my god, this drop is super amazing. Obviously, you don't want to play this on the turn 1. You're just playing this drop to when you feel you want to destroy a random enemy 1-cost card on some location. So it's definitely you can play even this on the turn 6, which is great. Another card, we have the Groot, which is super good addition to the audience decks, because if your opponent play the card here this turn, is +2 power, and then you can trigger this one more time throughout the audience. Nevertheless, it's like super situational, because the opponent might not play the cards on that location, and you might not get that +2 power. We have the Heimdall, which is like a super powerful card, but you need to create basically whole deck around this card. So basically on reveal, move your another cards 1 location to the left. So you have to basically try to play every card with the reveal, which is the Iron Fist, which is the Craven in this occasion. And then we are having the Multiple Man. This is actually everything which we can sort of move-ish. And then before that we had somewhere here supposed to be Nightcrawler. So Nightcrawler can move. I already mentioned that we can move this once. And then Heimdall, move your other cards 1 location to the left. So what that's going to happen to the Multiple Man, basically when this moves as a copy to the old location. So that's going to be definitely another stats when we play the Heimdall. And then the Craven will get the +2 power when the card moves here this game, +2 power. So we can play the Nightcrawler to get +2 power on this card, on the Craven, and then get +2 from the Multiple Man, which is going to move over there. So some extra stats we are able to get, and the Iron Fist we probably want to play to get extra stats on the Craven as well, to boost Craven to, let's say, 8 points. So obviously there's some other stuff we can do it, but we don't have access to this yet, unless we're just going to obviously unlock the cards to the Series 2 and Series 3. And then Iron Fist, basically what it's do, after you play your next card, move it 1 location to the left. So obviously we're trying to boost Craven all the time. But it's not enough to create like consistent deck. So the Heimdall is a great card, but it's not consistently enough, I believe. So then we have the Doctor Strange, which is great. On reveal, move your highest power cards to this location. So that's with the Craven probably. It's something we can consider and play with. There are some cards, and I'm going to probably create deck around this. Why not? It's going to be lots of fun. But I think we need more cards to be more consistent with it. We have any Morph. Morph is a great card. Basically, it's going to be become a copy of a random card in your opponent's hand. But keep that in mind. You kind of want to play this probably on the end, even on the turn 6. Or, well, actually, ideally on the turn 5 to copy some 6 mana, 6 energy drop from the opponent hand. Because if you're just going to play this on the turn 3 and hoping to get something, usually you're not gonna get something because just the opponent didn't draw the, high value card yet. Then we have the Namor, which is like, oh my god, this card, you can just single-handedly win the position sometimes, because it's going to have +5 power, and it's the only card on that position. So it's going to be 11, which is not like super powerful, but then on top of that, you're just going to play the Hulkbuster, and the Hulkbuster is going to merge with this card and basically keep the stats as well, because it's just basically 1 card here all the time. So it's going to be 16 points of stats playing just Hulkbuster on top of the Namor. So lots of scenarios you're just going to win the games. Then we have the Claw, which is basically 10 power of stats. You're just playing the Claw on some location. The location to the right has +6 power, so that's great. Cork, oh my god, Cork and Mantis, those cards for the aggro decks. On reveal, shuffle a rock into your opponent deck. This is amazing. Just shuffling the rock, which is like useless for 0 mana, 0 power. And then we're having the Mantis, which is basically if your opponent play a card here this turn, draw a card from their deck. It's super crazy good because we can draw extra card. And in some cases it's going to be super useful, or in some cases we're just going to disrupt the opponent hand or gameplay. Yondu, another amazing card, is basically destroying the top card of your opponent deck for 1 mana, for 1 energy. So really good to aggro decks. And then we have the Wolverine, which we can destroy with either Carnage or Deathlock or some other ways to destroy it. And then when it's destroyed, he will get +2 power. So, and it's going to move to the different locations. Super great card. White Queen, another amazing card. On reveal, copy the highest card in your opponent hand into your hand. This is amazing because we can copy everything, be it from Series 5, whatever. So White Queen, definitely amazing, amazing card. And definitely one of your favorite decks supposed to have the White Queen. One of your most consistent deck. Another card for the aggro. I don't know how to spell it. O2 the Watcher. I think so. That's right. Basically the Watcher is amazing because one, this is in your hand. You can see the unrevealed location. So it's definitely great if we're having this on the first turn because we can have access to what's going on in the future, which is turn 2 and 3, and basically take advantage of this. Another card which is like super great to the aggro decks, Strong Guy, basically it's ongoing, which means we can play this on the turn 4, and as long as we're just going to remove all cards from our hand, this is going to have +6 power. Another card for the aggro decks is Square Girl, which is amazing because adding a 1 power square to each other location, and if we are able to boost every card on the board, which is throughout the Marvel, Blue Marvel, or whatever other card, we just simply have the advantage of this card, and it's going to be super value for us. Another card is Spider-Woman. So for 5 mana, basically 12 stats. Why 12? Because afflict all enemy cards here with -1 power. So what we're going to do, we're just hoping to, or just waiting for the opponent is going to play every card on one position. And then when there are 4 cards over there, we're just going to play the Spider-Woman to have the advantage of this. And pretty much that's it. Scarlet Witch, super great card because simply you can just replace the location with a random new one, and when there is a location which can destroy every card when you play it or whatever, yada yada, just simply playing the Scarlet Witch, and always you have to keep that in mind. The cards on reveal, the on reveal effect is first applied, and then the location. So basically the location is not going to be triggered, and just change the location throughout the Scarlet Witch. It's the same with the Storm, by the way. So another card, Rocket Raccoon. So nothing super excited for 1 energy. If we are lucky, an opponent is going to play card on this location +2 to the stats, so it's going to be overall 4 stats. And then we have like super exciting card, maybe not super efficient, but excited definitely. Professor X. Lock down this location, cards can be added, removed, or etc. So this is like super broken card, and if you can pull out the combo basically when there's the location and the cards are basically destroyed on that location. So pretty much nobody is going to add extra cards on that location. So what you're going to do, you're just going to play the Scarlet Witch. So Scarlet Witch is going to change that location to whatever is it over there, and then you're just gonna lock it. So basically you just need well, I want to say seven energy, so you're not gonna do this. Okay, my bad. You're not gonna do this. But yeah, well, so my bad. I was like 5, 2, 7. No, we not have 7 points of energy. Anyway, so you have to figure out some way to play this somehow. I used to play a little bit, and sometimes you are able to do this, but it's kind of tricky because obviously it just free stats of the power. So usually there's not going to be much of the chance to play just only 1 card and win that location, right? So in somehow, some way, you need to do this. I mean, ideally the best is if the location is going to be destroyed when you play more cards. So what you want to do is pretty much playing the Mr. Fantastic on the middle, and then throughout the Mr. Fantastic get that extra points of value. But afterwards, you played the Professor X one more time. So you're just playing the Professor X first. You're just locking that position, and you're just hoping to somehow, some way, to get extra points on that location, because usually it's like super tricky to lock the location and actually winning that location, if that makes any sense. Anyway, you can win. Definitely, you can win just playing one card sometimes. Then we have the Onslaught as the last but not least on this series. And the Onslaught, it's basically what it's do. Ongoing, double your other ongoing effects on this location. So pretty much, yeah, self-explanatory. Doubling your other ongoing effects on this location. I'm not super excited about this card, although I'm probably going to do some deck around this. Just simply because we have the Spectrum, which is giving +2 power to every ongoing card. So if you're creating the deck around only ongoing cards, it's going to be much better. But I think the Onslaught is not that bad after all, because if you're not going to top deck the Spectrum, you want to play the Onslaught regardless. So yeah, double your other ongoing effects at this location. So you're just trying to obviously create the deck with only ongoing cards, and then you're just going to double that effect on that location. It's a shame just only that's 6 energy drop, not 5 energy drop, because then you will double this, and that will like freaking crazy amazing. Anyway, so thank you much guys for watching. See you guys in the next video. Hopefully I'm just going to carry on with Series 2 soon. Almost unlock everything, and then we're just gonna carry on with the Series 3. So yeah, stay tuned for this one. Take care, and bye for now.